Let's get started with Improbable Weapon Proficiency. One of the most common abilities ever incepted and arguably one of the first ever created found within world culture. Users of this extremely practical but also extremely impractical ability can either innately or through training master the wielding of bizarre, improbable, and in some cases impractical weaponry. This allows the users to perform feats ranging from but are not limited to bludgeoning their opponents with the book on a stick or slicing through objects with the drum cymbal or newly flattened object of some kind. They can even find offensive uses for harmless things like fruit, vegetables, or other edible objects by perhaps shaping them into weapon-like shapes. Essentially, in the user's hands, anything can be and will be a weapon if shaped and used in a weapon-like manner. I really can't make this any simpler than it sounds. Like, that's really all this ability has to it. So let's move on to the important stuff. Did you guys know that whatever you wonderful nerd and nerdettes are watching me on right now can be used as a weapon? Watching me on your phone? Just chuck it at some dude who pisses you off. Watching me on a laptop or PC? Then just crack some annoying chick over the head with it. But whatever you do, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button before you inevitably break your device, because that won't be good for either of us. But for those of you who would rather use a more, I guess normal isn't really the word, but a more normal weapon, I guess, then at least hit that share button so others can get in on this creative way of harming others. Yeah, that came out wrong. So if you are interested, and I don't condone using random items as weapons, but if you are interested, then continue watching and prepare to be amazed. The history of improbable weaponry can be found in every culture on every continent, and that's not an exaggeration, but you guys knew that already. Well, you should. Whether it's finding human skulls with scraps of metal or pieces of wood lodged into them, to finding the remains of victims crushed between two objects, this is a power older than known history, or at least recorded history. I'm pretty confident in saying that. So it would make sense that this can be found in uncountable legends and myths across our very same pretty boring world, with examples ranging from threads and needles to jewelry and jawbones of various animals. Basically, if you want to use it to harm others, no matter what it looks like, you have an example of this power within world history, myths, or popular culture. That last part was pretty short because I wanted to get the general idea across, and now that I have, we can move on to the next part. Now, like I've repeated numerous times, and I'll continue to repeat more because I don't mind, this is what I do and why you guys come here. But anything, and I do mean anything, can be crafted into a weapon or be used as a weapon. In fact, I feel 99.99999 repeating % sure that this is a power that everyone alive has used at least once. And don't try to argue with me on this either, because you have. My mom was a fan of using high heel shoes, but that's besides the point. Oftentimes, though, this ability gets mixed up with improvised weapons because they are extremely similar. And if you think about it, there's really no difference between using a non-weapon as a weapon and making any object into a weapon. They're both going to accomplish the same thing. But if I had to draw a line for the sake of this video, I'd say improvised weapons are born of a need, while improbable weapons are probably already weapons. They're just, unorthodox. And in the case of our world, they would seem completely useless. So, for example, instead of using a traditional shield or arm guards or something for defense, a user of this power would use, a bladed fan to block bullets. Instead of a wooden or metal baseball bat for the melee guy or gal, give them a piece of wood with sharp pieces of rusted metal sticking out of them. Or, instead of a whip or chain flail, give them a belt with a buckle and watch them single-handedly take out an entire room of muscular assailants. Somehow. The main thing about this ability is that whatever is being used as the, improbable weaponry is still going to look like and be classified as a weapon. The main question that the sight of it will invoke is something along the lines of, why are they using that? You can also count on it possessing properties that it normally wouldn't have in our world. So, more often than not, this power will be conflated with others, such as enhanced strength, enhanced speed, or other physical abilities that give it that extra oomph. But it isn't unheard of to add other elemental powers to the weapon as well. And while this ability is normally used by creatives, eccentrics, or perhaps the oddball engineer or gadgeteer, it can really belong to anyone who, in their quest to be weird and different, grabs their, I don't know, three-headed fly swatter made of feathers, cotton, and plastic and uses that to kill a bug skittering across the room. Yeah, I know that was an odd example, but you get the point. And as you guys can guess, there aren't any common stats for this ability because of the different types of improbable weapons that do exist. So, have fun creating your own weird weapon that only you know how to use. Ooh, another interesting thing about this ability that I need to mention is that once this ability is used to, let's say, allow someone to wield a giant pencil that also happens to be a laser or some kind of gun, once that specific weapon goes mainstream and we get used to it, it's no longer classified as improbable because it'll lack that unorthodox flair that it had before. It's like that saying, luxuries once tasted become necessities, or something like that. So expect to see this power in lots of Eastern media or stories that take place in the modernish era, where walking around with weapons is more or less looked down on or even given the side eye. Okay, now, this part might be a little weird. Normally, I just list out the applications and uses for this power along with the weaknesses and or limitations, but that's not going to work too well for this ability. Everyone knows that you can attack and defend with this power, but unless you get into the specific types of unorthodox weapons, you really won't be able to fully list out all the capabilities in a way that doesn't confuse or look like the video was rushed, and I'm not into giving you guys half-assed stuff. So I'm going to stop the video here, but expect future videos breaking down the most popular types of improbable weaponry, and heck, I might even create a couple of them for you guys, who knows. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, the Shea scaling system gives this power a spike-laced 7. Like I said earlier, stay tuned for future videos so I can get a little bit more specific. Pacific. No, wait, specific's right, yeah. If you're tired of talking about the same old powers I've done before, then jump ahead of line and join my channel membership, where for only $5.99 a month, you'll be able to not only watch the complete video unedited because of YouTube's random copyright, but also future videos that you guys have requested numerous times in the comment section, but I just haven't made public yet, such as these heavy hitters. Yeah. So click now and join if you don't want to wait. If not, I'll see you guys in the next one. Deuces.